Brian, you will
Yes.
talk again about value for value podcasting to the music industry.
Yes,
That's interesting.
it's going to be.
The next phase of podcasting 2.0.
Yes, and a couple of other things.
This is what I expected. And as well here, I took some time to have a few drinks with this gentleman to squeezing out of him some personal facts which you might know or not yet know, but soon you will know because Brian is so much danger that the United Kingdom has been banned him from Facebook.
Correct.
I
Yes.
heard the story quite a few times, but it's always interesting again. And you are banned permanently
I was deleted. I was erased. My
But-
whole history on Facebook was
by
gone.
order of the UK, government.
Yes.
That's tough.
It
You made a
is.
good job.
Yes.
Someone really likes you.
I just built a page for the wrong kind of guy, and bang, I was gone.
Okay, so this is a wonderful and typical case what we love to see in Web 2.0 world. So there's somebody who has the authority to kick your ass, sorry for that, out of protocol or system or whatever. And we all saw it. If I look back in my history, I spent tons of time on that network which got closed, and I spent time, somebody of you know it, Google Plus was a very nice network. I ended up with around 30,000 followers. The other day it was gone because somebody else take decision of the content you generated somewhere. And I don't want to use the F word again. Make some problem to what you created over years, connections you created over years. So that's another reason why we are here, because this won't happen with censorship stuff on Hive. And Brian adds some nice things to it, and you have your 20 minutes now. I try to pick up some more people and move them here.
No
So
problem.
give me a second and start your show.
So hello everybody. Check on the sound levels. Am I a little loud? Perhaps feeding back. Anyway, I'm Brian of London. I have a witness on Hive. I do DHF stuff, and you know me probably. Can we drop the levels on me? How's that? No, it's still quite loud. I'll move that way down. Still hear me, but not with the... Okay, good. Yes, so I do a lot of things. I've done something called podping in the past. I'll touch on that. I run an app all the time called v4v.app. But I'm actually going to start... These are the things I'm going to talk about. So before I get to the music, which, believe me, the music is good. Well, the story about the music is interesting. I'm just going to give you an update on this thing, the JPB Liberty ad ban case in Australia. Some of you know about it, some of you don't. Along with another chap called APS Hamilton, who couldn't be here for this HiveFest. He's been to past ones, but Yom Kippur is the Jewish high holy day, and it falls in the middle of this, so it made stuff difficult for him. He and I, and mostly him, and with my assistants, he and I are suing Meta, formerly known as Facebook, and Google for $300 billion for the damage that they did to all of us and the whole of crypto in general. Every Bitcoin holder, Ethereum holder, anybody who was in crypto in 2018 suffered at the hands of those two companies because they banned all advertising of cryptocurrencies. Anyway, we've been pursuing this for 4 years now. We've been actually sort of in Australian court for about 2.5, 3 years. We kind of, COVID got us into court in Australia because they put their entire legal system online, which was fantastic. And in February of this year, he and I both flew to Australia to be in court with the lawyers of Google and the lawyers of Meta, Facebook, sort of me and him, just the two of us. And then we had about 14, 13 lawyers behind us, barrister's assistant, a whole wheelbarrow full of documents for both of these. And we fought their attack on us. And then their first attack was to say, Andrew Hamilton is both incompetent, he's not competent to run this case, he has conflicts of interest with all of the class members, which is everyone in crypto, and also they said that he probably won't have enough money to run the case properly, and so it's better if he doesn't bring the case. We fought back, obviously, and we in fact told the judge that there's a precedent from Canada, which is that an Indian band is suing the tax authorities, and they've run out of money, so the judge in that case has ordered the tax authority in Canada to pay the legal fees of the Indian band during the ongoing case. So we put it to our judge in Australia that if Facebook and Google really believe we don't have enough money, she can order them to pay us, and we will hire a big law firm in Australia and do the job properly. So that's the case. We're waiting on a judgment from that that hearing in February, but court moves very, very slowly. Value for value app. I don't know if anybody can see what's behind me, so I can't. Anyway, value for value app lets you change between Lightning, which is a layer 2 thing on top of Bitcoin that is fast and sort of feeless, and Hive. And people are using this. They can give Hive and get a Lightning invoice paid, which can pay on services like there are a lot of services that you can pay for with Lightning. And if you do this, you can use your Hive directly to buy a pizza or get a Visa prepaid card or get an eSIM. In fact, I'm using an electronic SIM that I bought with Lightning, but my Hive paid for the Lightning to get me an eSIM to be here to use my phone. So that's what I do. And lots of people like using it. It's used in Cuba and Venezuela, and it's a grassroots way of subverting the system, because a lot of venture capital money has gone into Lightning to try and get merchant adoption. I don't know how successful they're being, but this is a way that we get to use their venture capital money without us having to get into bed with the venture capital people. So we like that here on Hive. So that was a whirlwind tour of 2 topics. And now I'm going to try, and I picked a really fun day for this, I'm going to try and explain something a bit more, not on the slides. I've got some apps I'm going to show you. I want to talk to you about the music business. Now, we all hear music. I mean, we're hearing a mariachi band playing there live. But in the world of recorded music that you stream online, not everything is happy. It has been captured by the centralized forces. You've got your Spotify, you've got Apple Music, you've got Google Music, and that's pretty much it. And artists, other than a very, very tiny top tier, artists get messed out. They do not get paid for music that you stream. You can read a million stories of artists whose tracks and so on are published on Spotify, and they get tens of thousands of streams, and a year later they get $15, and it just doesn't seem fair. What I have been working on for 2.5 years is podcasting, and a way that you can reward podcasts that you listen to directly, and the method is this thing Lightning, this layer 2 on Bitcoin, where as you listen to a podcast, you can send sats. And we developed this, and in fact I turned it on all of 3Speak's videos. Every video channel on 3Speak is also a video podcast, and it is automatically enabled in this SAT streaming value for value system. And I've probably not done as good a job of promoting that to the people on 3Speak and Hive as I should have done. So I'm going to try and do better. But what's happened now is one particular guy who, let's see, I'm going to play a video that I think I've played before. I'm going to play a video, maybe, I don't know if it can be seen. Is it going to come back up? I think when my laptop goes to sleep, it causes chaos. There we go. Anybody know that? Can you recognize in the sun the gentleman in the middle? Anyone recognize him? No, it's Steve Jobs. This is in the middle. This is Steve Jobs. He doesn't matter. He's talking to Kara Swisher and Walt Mossberg. And this is the very first time podcasts were introduced to anyone. And I'm going to just play this little clip.
One of the guys that invented podcasting. And he has a podcast called The Daily Source. Let me go ahead and subscribe to that. And we can go listen to his latest one. Just click on it.
Your daily source code, show number 180.
Something remarkable is happening here. Radio is springing free of the regulated gatekeepers who've managed what you can hear since radio was invented.
It's Adam Curry. That's right, it's show number 180, and it's Friday, everybody. Thank God. I've actually had to restart the show 3 times. My Mac has been acting up like a motherfucker. I don't know what's going on. I think it's something to do with the file system.
Okay.
So obviously, that is the genius of Steve Jobs, because he picked a clip from a show, a podcast, one of the first, probably the first 2 podcasts. One of them was by this guy, Adam Curry, and his show was called The Daily Source Code. And Steve Jobs picked that clip to play where he said, my Mac has been acting like a motherfucker because 1, it had a rude word in it, and 2, Steve Jobs just understood self-deprecating humor properly. But that show that Adam Curry used to do in 2005 and onwards, he used to talk about the coding that was underneath podcasting, which was growing, and at the same time, he would intersperse this with music tracks that he would play. And he would just pull a track, play it into his podcast, and then send it out. This, of course, is highly illegal. And at any moment, but not back in 2005, the police could have banged on his door and come and hauled him away to prison at the behest of the music publishing industries because he had no rights to play music tracks, well-known music. And to this day, there is no legal way to license music to play in a podcast. You cannot take the Beatles. There is no authority you can go to and say, I would like a license to play the Beatles in my podcast. There's very, very complicated mechanisms around online radio and streaming radio. You can get rights for that. It's very expensive. It's complicated. There's just these gatekeepers in the way. ASCAP, BMI, companies that collect royalties on behalf of writers and performers. It's a total mess. And for all these years, what happened was radio has declined, but nothing has come up. There's no radio disc jockey that you can listen to in a podcast form. So what we've done with Podcasting 2.0 is invent this and invent all of the mechanisms necessary to publish music, say who should get paid, and if a listener wants to, as in if a listener values the music they're hearing, send value back the other way. And we've done this within the framework of podcasts because podcasts are still free. Not free money, they are free of the influence of big tech. Big tech has not managed to crush and own podcasting. You can get your own server, put up an RSS feed, serve your MP3s. You don't need YouTube to do it. Now, a lot of people will use podcasting hosts, but even there's a wide range of them. And so, let's see if I can try and do. This thing's gone to sleep again. This is the hard part. Now I'm going to play you. You just heard a very short snippet of Adam Curry from way back when. Let's see if this works.
Boosting is lovely. Boost, boost, boost. Hello, everybody. Coming to you directly from the Texas Hill Country. It is Boostagram Ball, episode number 8. Songs you can't hear on the radio.
Somebody told me you're in San Francisco. They said you work in it.
Now, Back down, sorry. Sorry to give you guys such a headache. What I just played was the opening of Adam Curry's new show. It's called Boostergram Ball. And on that show, he plays new music, brand new music, uploaded as if it were podcasts. I'm not going to go into the technicalities of that. But each one of those tracks, and I was using this window here, when I started playing, you had one piece of artwork. When it got onto the track, it switched. And that's the artwork for the track that's playing. And while people are listening, they can stream sats to his podcast. And whilst he's playing a song, 90% of the sats will go to the song, and he keeps 10% because he's doing a valuable job. He's doing what we on Hive call curation. And this is really new. This has been going 3 or 4 months. The tools are not built yet to make this easy to do. But even with the real terrible tools that exist, artists are finding it. And there's a, let's see if I can find this. There's a list. That's not the one. I've lost the window for this, but podcast index dot. There's a top 100. So here we have the top 100 of music. Now this is changing every hour, and this is approximately based on the number of sats, how much fractions of Bitcoin these artists have received over the last week for their songs. And if I click on any one of these songs, I don't know this particular one, but I'm going to click on it and press play.
I'm not made for.
And what you get is music. Music uploaded directly by the artist. And there's a box there. I can hit boost. I'll do that afterwards. So I'm going to send a couple of bucks. Let's see if this works here. I'm going to hit boost. I'm probably going to have to put in a passcode. Confirm. Okay, I've sent $1.33. $1.33 will now go to Adam Curry, and he will split that, and 90% will go to the artist, direct. No ASCAP, no BMI, no music publisher, no EMI Thorn, none of those guys get it. It's the artist and Adam Curry for helping me find it because it was on his show. Actually, no, this one was direct. I got it from the Adam Curry won't get. But the reason I'm telling Hive audience is this is a new field, okay? Hive can be embedded in it. I've got the gateway between Sats and Hive. The tools are there. If this interests anybody, any developers, and I'm talking to the audience in the sun and the audience at home, contact me because I'm going to put you into the world where we discuss this. And there's so many tools that can be built. Music, dedicated music hosting. And music hosting is so much easier than video because these are tiny little files. They're nothing. Music hosting as a podcast, put it out there, publish, and all of the facilities that we have on Hive can be added on the top. The community, an artist building a community around their music and being rewarded when people play that music. I'm just one guy, and I'm already doing V for V. Behind the scenes is a thing called PodPing, which announces anytime a new track is published, that gets written to Hive as a custom JSON. And that system's been running perfectly for 2 years now. So we're already in this, and I'm just trying to spark some enthusiasm and get people to send me a mail, or find me on Hive, post a comment, and come join me and help build some stuff for music and music 2.0 and streaming sats. All right, I think I've reached the end. So any questions? And I'll let Detlev take over.
Yeah, I really enjoy what you are doing, as I know so many musicians who get, again, no effort here with the music industry. And this is a way to make it easy to them to connect to earnings, to stuff they did beneath playing on stages. So We need to probably find a way to get some more people who react on your clear call to action. Talk to him. If you're in music, if you like to do more with music, there is already some function working, and I guess you need a little bit more front end stuff and some other things.
It's front end, it's back end, it's developing. It's throwing some ideas in, and I've got some ideas with the Oriole team, and I know we've got talent, and I know some of it's looking for directions to go, and this is one of those directions that I think is ripe for us. We've got so much of the infrastructure. I mean, I didn't mention, like, one of the core parts, one of the cool parts is something we have on Hive. Within the what's called the value block for each song, you can split it, so you can give the bassist, the lead guitarist, the vocalist, and the drummer if he hasn't spontaneously combusted and died by now. But you can split a track 25, 25, 25, and in perpetuity, those sats will just follow you around whenever that track is played in any of these systems. So we're heading in a good direction, I think, which is direct from the audience to the value receiver without lots and lots of middlemen.
So for what are you looking most? More hands to help you to build something, or more people who build own apps relying on the technology you created?
Everything. I mean, all levels of development. If you're already hosting files, or you can do a bit of front end work, and you think, I can show you where front ends need to be built that combine Hive and combine this value for value. It's very easy, for example, to put value blocks into every one of 3Speak's videos. We can do that a step further and host music within Hive that appears as podcasts everywhere. And that we've got a good window here, because anything you produce now, Adam Curry will promote the hell out of it. And what's happened to some of the artists that he plays on Boostergram Ball is, these are artists who've been uploading their tracks to Spotify for 10 years, and they've got $50, and suddenly they get boosted by Adam Curry, and they make $200 in a weekend of Bitcoin. And they're going like, how on earth did that happen?
Okay, we will have a few beers on this evening, because I guess this is a longer story. And if we switch you on again, you might have a few more stories for us. Thank you very much. Now Perfect. And even more, if there is somebody around who loves music and like to help out there, I think there's maybe as well a little thing to earn on it. Connect with Brian.